ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have another look at the T-22 medium, and is it the most broke tier 10 in the game? Is it the most OP tier 10 in the game? In my opinion, yes, of course it is. It is absolutely amazing. It is, I'm not going to lie, it is a fun tank to play, but the issue with this is Wargaming have never outright sold this tank, and I honestly think they are not going to, because imagine if they sell this tank like they do other tier 10s for 15 to 20,000 gold. The tier 10 will be completely full of T-22 mediums. Now, I still get stick in game when I'm driving a T-22 medium, especially if I wreck someone. They absolutely give me grief, and they give me a lot of abuse because I'm driving the T-22 medium. Now, people will say it's pay to win driving this tank, and I agree. I do agree, and I don't think the game is so much pay to win, but there is certain tanks that are. I mean, like this, because not everyone can get the tank because it's only been available in crates, and a lot of people won't want to buy the crates. Now, I was very lucky with mine, and I got it on the first crate. So what is also annoying about this tank is things like tournaments, because if a team's got a team full of T-22 mediums and the other team are a bunch of young people that don't have jobs and they can't get the T-22 medium, then of course it will be unfair. So I've always said for tournaments, I think premium tanks or collectibles shouldn't be allowed, and it should only be tech tree tanks allowed in tournaments. I've always said that, and I'm always going to carry on saying that, especially tanks like this T-22 medium. Now, there is other tanks in tier 10 that are collectibles, or like the Chieftain Mark 6. People can play that, and I don't think that is pay to win. So this is really only... There was a petition going around to stop the T-22 medium from being played in tournaments, but I honestly just think, just scrap the whole premium thing and don't allow any premium tanks in tournaments, and that will be much better. That will be much better. Obviously, it's not going to change the fact that you can still play it in randoms. But I'm glad I got the tank. I am glad I got the tank. It's fun. It is so troll. The armor is really, really troll. The problem is now is it is very, very difficult to ace. That game we just had there, yes, it was only 4.5k damage, just above, but it was over 1500 base XP, and it still wasn't enough for an ace. And I think this game is going to be even more, and it's still not going to be enough for an ace. So you can compare this to tanks like the T-62, Object 140, etc. And this against the T-62, I mean, I've always said that the T-62 is better than this until the last time I made a video on this, and I thought, you know what, actually, this is kind of OP. But since Wargaming have been buffing the T-62 over and over again, you still got a very, very strong tank in the T-62, and it is equally as OP. But the problem with that, or the issue with, or the difference, sorry, with that, anyone can have the T-62. Anyone can grind it. It is a tech tree tank. Not everyone can have this tank. Not everyone can have this tank. This, I think, does have a better armor profile. But what the T-62 has over this is the accuracy, and it has that gun depression. And that makes all the difference, because it does have a really, really strong turret. And you use that strong turret with that gun depression, 7 degrees of gun depression, it does make all the difference. And it's still a really good tank. The T-62A it competes with this. It does compete with this, but with the armor profile of this, I will actually say that this is better, because it's not just a strong turret. I mean, look at that. We've just bounced from our rear. Yes, he hit our track. We bounced 560 damage from our rear. The side armor as well is much, much better. Again, if you can get this tank in a sort of reverse side-scraping position, then you will bounce pretty much everything that comes your way. And if you can get into these positions as well, like I'm doing now, where you're face-hugging or side-hugging, rockwards, backwards and forwards, just like, we did get penned once from this 254 E1, but we've literally completely destroyed him. And we are going to get shot there again from the back chat, but I would recommend, if you have got this tank, don't always go in front, like straight ahead. Go in at an angle, like this kind of angle. Don't always go in, if you're going to YOLO, go in at an angle, because you do have that big front plate that is weak at the bottom. You do have that pike nose. And as we know with the pike nose, they do normally have weak bottom plate. And this is the same with this. It does have a weak bottom plate, so always come out at an angle just to make that bottom plate a lot more difficult to pen. Just like we're doing here, look, we're going sideways pretty much up a hill to get those bounces, and it's paid off. I mean, this game we've bounced 2,440 damage. We're going to get a nice high roll there into that E75. I'm not quite sure if we're going to get, I think we are going to get the kill. So we do get 5 kills that game, and I thought, you know what, that's an ace. 2.5k block damage, 5.5k damage, but it was only enough for a first class. And I was like, seriously? That was a first class, 1,538 base XP, and that still wasn't enough for an ace. And that just goes to show how well people are doing in this tank. So we're going to have one more battle now, and we are going to go across the river. And if you can get across the river on this map in this tank, it's going to be amazing. You're going to have an amazing game. There is a lot of mediums. I'm not just saying the T-22. There is a lot of mediums in tier 10 that can cross this river and still have a good game, because a lot of the mediums, apart from say the Object 140 that has strong turrets, most of the mediums in tier 10 have really strong turrets. Now we do get shot there from the pattern, and again we're getting bounces from the Peugeot, so we do have to try and get away from him because he does have our rear. Now again, we still bounced a shot. We still bounce a shot whilst not looking, and you can do that so often. You can do that so often, and you have the rear of people have the rear of you, and you do still manage to get those bounces. And even you think, like, you sit there and think, how the hell did I get that bounce? Now we are now in a good position. The Sheridan can't push us. He is now running away, and no one else is pushing us. You have the pattern up there. We are going to be careful of the Death Star, but just look at this. We are going to bounce another shot from the pattern there. We are going to go for that Death Star because he is still a dangerous target to if I poke up and he's there watching me, then it's going to be very, it's not going to be good. And again, we're going to get a nice shot into the pattern, and that's because he can't see our bottom plate. He can only see our turret. And if tanks can only see your turrets, especially medium tanks, then they're just going to waste their shells. They're just going to waste their shells because not much is going to go through you. Now, that was stupid. I accidentally switched to HE into that mouse, which cost me a little bit of damage. I mean, what, I've done 50 odd damage. So that was a bad mistake from me. I wanted to do it quickly because I didn't want to expose myself for too long. Now we are in a very good position because the Death Star has shot. He's now gone, and we do have some shots in on the pattern. So I am going to rush him because he is going to rush out T-62, and I'm going to have better DPM than him. Not by a lot, but we do have better DPM. And now I'm going to just YOLO, going to rush him, get quite close to him, and then just try and get these bounces. And this is what I mean. I'm trying to, look, we get a bounce from our rear, from our side, and we wasn't trying to angle or anything like that. It was just, it was troll. It's troll, and that is what this tank does, and this is why the tank is OP, and this is why it is better than tanks like the T-62, the STB, the E50M. So now we have this E100 coming towards us, and you can see it again. We are dropping down. We're not looking at running away, because if he shoots me now, then it is going to be difficult for him to pen, but he does manage to pen me. But with my DPM now, it is a 4 versus 3. I'm just concentrating on this guy. I'm going to use the Death Star as cover. We are going to get a few shots into him, and again, the armor, just look at it. That was side of my armor. We do get wrecked now from the Sheridan, so we're just going to ignore the E100 for now because we know he is on a reload, and the Sheridan, if he can get behind me, he has the mobility, so we really did want to take care of him. And now we can focus on this E100, and again, he is trying to get a shot, and because of the angle we was at, we did manage to get that bounce, and you can just see him, look, in the chat. Pff. So 2,900 block damage, and now with the mouse concentrating on the IS-7, which is my good man Dan, same clan as mine, I am able to farm some damage. But he is actually going to ignore the IS-7, and he's going to turn around, and he is actually going to get me. I didn't expect him to turn around. I'm thinking, like, dude, like, why can't you just go for the IS-7? But we are going to manage to win. 2,940 blocked damage, and that time we get 2 kills, 6,300 damage, and finally that was enough for an ace. So that is the T-22 medium, the most OP tank in tier 10, 100%. If you've got it, you're lucky. If you don't, unlucky. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With